I wasn't supposed to be there. But when my sister told me I couldn't sit at her table at Thanksgiving, I knew things were going to change. And when the 1800 bill came in the mail 2 weeks later, let's just say my answer was clear. I wasn't paying, and I didn't care what anyone thought. My name is Sarah, I'm 26 years old, and I've been living in my sister's shadow for as long as I can remember. She's the one who always had it all together, the perfect job, the perfect house, the perfect life. I was the black sheep, the one who couldn't quite get her act together. But that day, Thanksgiving 2022, something shifted inside me, and that would be the last time I ever let her treat me like I didn't matter. Growing up, everything was about Olivia. My older sister, 3 years ahead of me, had the world at her feet. Mom would tell me, "Sarah, you need to be more like Olivia. She's got her future all mapped out." And you know what? She did. Olivia graduated top of her class, got a consulting job making 6 figures by 24, bought a condo in the city before she turned 25. Meanwhile, I was bouncing between retail jobs, living with 2 roommates in a cramped apartment, trying to figure out what I even wanted to do with my life. But it wasn't just about success. Olivia had this way of making sure I knew where I stood, always a little below her. She'd ask about my job with this sympathetic tilt of her head. "Still at the boutique? That's nice." She'd comment on my clothes. "Is that vintage? Oh, you mean it's just old?" I don't even think she realized how much it hurt. Or maybe she did, and that was the point. Either way, I should have known the pattern by then. Olivia always took center stage. It was always her life, her achievements, her world. And I was just the background noise. November 24th, 2022. Thanksgiving arrived, and everything seemed normal. Or at least I thought it was. I'd been going through some rough months. My hours at the boutique had been cut. I was making $2,400 a month, and my rent alone was $800. My long-distance boyfriend and I had just broken up after 2 years. I was barely holding it together. But I thought family would be different. A chance to reset, to have a little joy. I drove the 45 minutes to Olivia's condo, a bottle of cheap wine in hand because that's all I could afford. When I walked in, the smell of roasted turkey hit me immediately. Her place was exactly what I expected. Sleek modern kitchen. White marble countertops. Those expensive candles that smell like autumn harvest or whatever. The dining table was set for 8 people. Real china plates, crystal wine glasses, fresh flowers in the center. It looked like something out of a magazine. I set my wine bottle down on the kitchen counter, and Olivia glanced at it with a tight smile. "Oh, you brought wine. How thoughtful." She didn't even pick it up. Just left it there. People started arriving. Olivia's fiancé, Derek, a couple of her work friends, Mom and Dad. I counted the place settings again. 8 seats. I started moving toward the table when everyone began sitting down. That's when Olivia put her hand on my arm. You're not supposed to sit here. You know the seating arrangement, right?" I stared at her. "What seating arrangement?" She gestured toward the table. I made a chart. "It's on the fridge." And sure enough, there it was. A printed seating chart with names in neat little boxes. My name wasn't on it. "So where do I sit?" I asked, feeling my face get hot. "Oh, I thought you'd be more comfortable in the living room. You can use the coffee table." I just didn't have enough chairs for everyone at the main table. I looked around. There were 8 chairs. 8 people including me. But one of those 8 was Derek's coworker, someone I'd never even met before. A stranger got a seat at the table. I didn't. "Olivia, I'm your sister." She waved her hand dismissively. "Don't make it a big thing, Sarah. It's just easier this way. You understand." I didn't understand. But I also didn't want to cause a scene in front of everyone. So I grabbed a plate, filled it with food, and sat on her cream-colored couch, eating turkey and mashed potatoes while I listened to laughter coming from the dining room. I felt like I was 7 years old again, not invited to the grown-up table. Except I was 26. And this was my sister deliberately excluding me. Halfway through dinner, Olivia clinked her glass. Everyone got quiet. I just want to say thank you all for coming. Derek and I worked really hard to make this special. We hired a private chef, got the turkey from that organic farm upstate, imported the wine from Napa. Everyone murmured appreciatively. Then she dropped it. So, I've tallied up all the costs, and the total came to $1,800. We're splitting it 12 ways, so everyone owes $150. I'll send you all a payment request tonight. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. 12 ways? There were only 8 of us here. I later found out she was counting people who contributed to planning, including Derek's mom, who wasn't even there. But the point was clear. She expected $150 from me. $150 I absolutely did not have. I had $87 in my checking account. My credit card was maxed out. I had to decide between groceries and gas most weeks. And she wanted me to pay $150 for a meal I didn't even get to eat at the table? I didn't say anything at dinner. I just nodded, smiled, and left early. The next morning, November 25th, 10:47 a.m., my phone buzzed. An email from Olivia. Subject line, Thanksgiving dinner payment. She'd attached a Venmo request for $150. The message read, Hi everyone. Thank you again for such a wonderful evening. Please pay by Friday, November 30th. Looking forward to many more celebrations together. XO Olivia. I stared at that email for a full 5 minutes. Then I took a screenshot. I opened my notes app and started typing. I called it Operation Not My Problem, because that's exactly what this was going to be. Not my problem. I wasn't going to pay, and I was going to make damn sure she understood why. I spent that entire Friday pulling together evidence. I screenshot my bank statement showing my balance. 87. 34. I screenshot my credit card statement, $2,140 out of $3,000 limit. I screenshot my work schedule showing I was only getting 22 hours a week. I screenshot my rental agreement showing my $800 monthly rent. Then I went through my text messages with Olivia from the past 6 months. August 12th. Her asking if I could dress nicer when I met her friends because first impressions matter. September 3rd. Her canceling our plans last minute because something more important came up. October 20th. Her telling me I probably shouldn't come to her engagement party because it was very exclusive, and she didn't want it to feel crowded. I screenshot every single one. Then I drafted my response. November 25th, 8:34 p.m. I hit send. Hi, Olivia. I received your payment request for $150 for Thanksgiving dinner. I won't be paying this amount, and I want to explain exactly why. First, I was not informed ahead of time that this dinner would cost $150 per person. I would never have agreed to attend if I'd known. Second, I'm currently making $1,400 a month and my rent is $800. I have $87 in my checking account. I literally cannot afford this. Third, and most importantly, I wasn't even allowed to sit at the dinner table. I ate alone on your couch while a stranger sat in what should have been my seat. If you want to host expensive dinners, that's your choice. But you don't get to charge your struggling sister $150 for the privilege of being excluded. I'm sorry, but this is not my problem to solve. Sarah. I attached all my screenshots. And I waited. She replied in 11 minutes. Sarah, you're being dramatic. The seating was just logistics. And everyone is paying, not just you. We're family. Family supports each other. I expect payment by Friday. Oh, I read it 3 times. Family supports each other. The same family that wouldn't give me a seat at the table. The same sister who'd spent years making me feel small. I typed back immediately. Olivia, you're right. Family does support each other. Which is why I'm confused about why you charged me $150 for a meal I didn't ask for, couldn't afford, and wasn't even fully included in. This isn't about being dramatic. This is about boundaries. I'm not paying. That's final. This time she didn't respond. The week after Thanksgiving was radio silent. No texts from Olivia, no calls. Mom called on November 28th. Sarah, honey, Olivia says you're refusing to pay for Thanksgiving dinner. That's correct. Well, she's very upset. She worked so hard on that meal. Mom, did she tell you she didn't let me sit at the table? Silence. What do you mean? I mean, I sat on the couch and ate alone while a stranger sat at the table. And now she wants me to pay $150 for that experience. Oh, Sarah, I'm sure it wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. Mom sighed. Can't you just pay it? Keep the peace? I don't have $150, Mom. I'm barely making rent. Well, maybe if you got a better job. I hung up. I was done explaining myself. December 10th, 2022. My cousin's Christmas party. I knew Olivia would be there. Part of me wanted to skip it. Avoid the confrontation. But another part of me, the part that was tired of hiding, said no. Go. Face her. I walked in at 7:15 p.m. Olivia was standing by the punch bowl laughing with our aunt. When she saw me, her smile vanished. She walked straight over. You still haven't paid. And I'm not going to. You're being childish. I felt something snap inside me. I pulled out my phone, opened my photos, and showed her the screenshots I'd saved. My bank statement. My work schedule. The texts where she'd excluded me. No, Olivia. You don't get to do this anymore. You don't get to make me feel guilty for having boundaries. I'm not paying. I'm done explaining why, and I'm done letting you treat me like I'm less than you. She stared at the phone. Then at me. Everyone else paid. Good for them. I'm not everyone else. I'm your sister. And you treated me like I didn't even deserve a seat at your table. So no, I'm not paying you for that. Her face went red. You know what, Sarah? Fine. Don't pay. But don't expect me to include you in anything ever again. That's literally been my life for the past 10 years, Olivia. You're not threatening me with anything new? I walked away. My hands were shaking, but I felt lighter than I had in years. The next 2 weeks were quiet. Olivia didn't call. Didn't text. Mom called once more to try to mediate, but I held firm. She charged me $150 to eat on her couch, Mom. If you don't see the problem with that, I don't know what to tell you. Dad called on December 18th. I heard what happened at Thanksgiving. Yeah, your sister can be a lot sometimes. I almost laughed. That's one way to put it. But you did the right thing, kid. You stood up for yourself. I'm proud of you. I cried after that call. Because I realized that's all I'd ever wanted. Someone to see me. To validate that I mattered. And it took me standing up for myself to get it. January 3rd, 2023. A package arrived at my apartment. Small brown no-return address. Inside was an envelope. I opened it, and a check fell out. $150 made out to me. There was a note in Olivia's handwriting. Sarah, I've been thinking a lot about Thanksgiving. Derek helped me see that I was out of line. You were right. I shouldn't have charged you for a dinner you didn't ask for, and I definitely shouldn't have excluded you from the table. I'm sorry. I don't expect this to fix things. But I want you to know I heard you. Olivia. I sat on my couch holding the check. It wasn't much. Just a piece of paper. But it felt like more than that. It felt like proof that I mattered. That my voice mattered. That standing up for myself had consequences, yes, but also rewards. I didn't cash the check. Instead, I went to the dollar store and bought a $3 frame. I put the check inside and hung it on my wall. Not as a trophy, not to be petty, but as a reminder that I get to decide what I accept. That family doesn't get a free pass to mistreat me just because we share DNA. That my boundaries matter. Every time I look at it, I remember that moment at the Christmas party when I finally spoke my truth. When I stopped shrinking to make someone else comfortable. When I chose myself. Olivia and I talk now. Not a lot, but more than we did. She's actually apologized a few more times since January. Our relationship isn't perfect. It probably never will be, but it's honest now. And that's worth more than a forced fake closeness. I learned something important through all of this. You teach people how to treat you. For years, I'd accepted Olivia's behavior because I didn't think I deserved better. Because I was the unsuccessful sister, the one who hadn't figured it out yet. But success isn't just about money or status or the perfect Instagram-worthy life. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to let anyone make you forget it. At the end of the day, family doesn't get a free pass to mistreat you just because they're related. And if you don't stand up for yourself, no one else will. That $150 check on my wall? It's worth so much more than the dollar amount. It's worth my self-respect, my boundaries, my voice. And I'm never giving those away again. Not for anyone. Not even family. So what about you? Have you ever had to stand your ground with a family member? Have you ever been excluded, dismissed, or taken for granted by the people who are supposed to love you most? Leave a comment below and tell me your story. And if you found this helpful, if it resonated with you, hit that subscribe button, because there are more stories like this coming. Stories about standing up, speaking out, and choosing yourself. Thanks for listening. This is Sarah signing off.